just yesterday, the Boston Breakers parting ways with head coach Lisa Cole. Now, Kat Whitehill will be taking over and managing the team for the remainder of the season. Now, there's only 3 games left, not including today. So, of course, they really need to win all 3 games in order to even have a shot at the playoffs. Now, they're playing the New York Flash today, which is currently in 4th place, and the Breakers are in 5th. So you can only imagine it's going to be a pretty physical matchup between the 2 teams. Now, back up to you guys.
Thank you very much, Alex. Scott Sudikoff alongside Maddie Sattler here at Dilboy Stadium getting set for Boston Breakers soccer. And tonight, the Breakers hosting the Flash of Western New York, and it's a key playoff battle. If the Breakers lose, they are all but they are eliminated from the playoffs. As for Western New York, a victory for them and a loss by Chicago later today, and they clinched their spot in the playoffs. So really, obviously must win for the Breakers. A game that the Flash want to just win and get in the books and get that playoff spot secured. And for the Breakers, it's a little bit of a transition with the departure of Lisa Cole. Tough probably for these players to come out and play this game a bit.
Yeah, but we have to see. We'll see if the Breakers can overcome a little bit of, Lisa Cole being fired or let go. And, they need to win. So let's hope that fire will propel them to a victory today.
Yeah, the team parting ways with head coach Lisa Cole yesterday came out last night. So the Breakers will be managed by Kat Whitehill. She'll be a player coach here in this game for the Breakers. And Breakers coming off of a win last Saturday against Washington, a final score of 5-2. So that was a spirited effort for them. They had 5 different goal scorers, and they started that game down 1-0 just 2 minutes in. So it was a good comeback effort by the Breakers after that early goal from Washington.
That resilience was good to see because we've seen earlier in the season the Breakers have gotten down early and haven't been able to come back. So coming back against Washington, hopefully that gives them some drive and some momentum coming into this game because it is a very key matchup against Western New York today.
Western New York also comes in off of a win against Washington. They beat the Spirit on a Wednesday by a final score of 3-0. This is the 3rd meeting between these 2 teams. Breakers have a 1-0-1 record. That last matchup, though, was here June 5th, so almost 2 full months ago. A 2-2 tie. That's the game where the Flash scored in the extra time. Jody Ann Robinson scoring the tying goal in the extra session. And if you look at the standings, that's a game you look back at so early in the season. But those 2 extra points going either way, very big deal in the standings when you look at it right now.
Absolutely, and it's been a while since these 2 teams have matched up, so we've got a little different feel. The season's winding down, so they're both very familiar with each other at this point in the season. They're familiar with themselves too. Western New York's really starting to gel. They're getting hot, they're rolling, and that's what they want to do to continue into the playoffs. They're coming off 2 victories, so 2 shutout victories, and they've been playing the best soccer that they've been playing all season long. So it's going to be a really tough matchup for Boston, but let's see if that need to win, that must win, will fire them and propel them to a victory.
It's time to take a look at the starting lineups for tonight's game, and those brought to you by TCG Network Services. We take a look first at the visiting Western New York Flash. They are 8-4-6 on the season, in 4th place with 30 points, 2-3-5 on the road. They go with a 3-4-3 alignment defensively. Estelle Johnson, Brittany Taylor, and Catherine Reynolds. In the midfield, Angela Salem, McCall Zerboni, Carly Lloyd, and Sarah Huffman. And the forwards for the Flash are Samantha Kerr, Adriana Martin, and Abby Wambach, who is tied with Sydney LaRue of the Breakers for the most goals in the league, also tied with Lauren Holiday of FC Kansas City. And in goal for the 19th time is Adriana France. She's the league leader in saves with 84, and she has 5 shutouts on the year. And they are coached by Aaron Lyons. Now taking a look at the Boston Breakers, they run a 4-3-3 defensively. Kat Whitehill, Jasmine Avant, and Julie King and Kia McNeil. On the back line, midfielders Rion Wilkinson, Heather O'Reilly, and Joanna Lohman. Forwards, Sydney LaRue, Leanne Sanderson, and Kaya Simon starts today, with Alyssa Nair back in goal after the surgery to repair her broken nose. Breakers 6-7-5, 23 points, tied for 5th place, 3-3-2 at home this year. And as mentioned, this is a must-win for them if they want any chance to make the playoffs. Meanwhile, Western New York, a win today and a loss by Chicago later today, and they clinched their playoff spot. And as talked about, the Breakers and head coach Lisa Cole parting ways yesterday, and Kat Whitehill taking over as a player coach for the time being, while a search for a full-time manager begins for the Boston Breakers. So Breakers and Flash getting set to do battle here today at Dilboy Stadium. We'll take a break and come back and get you your injury report and have the opening kickoff. Breakers and Flash live from Boston.
At forward, number 2, Sydney LaRue. On defense, number 4, Kat Whitehill. On defense, number 5, Jasmine Avant. On defense, number 7, Rianne Wilkinson. On defense, number 8, Julie King. At midfield, number 9, Heather O'Reilly. At forward, number 10, Leanne Sanderson. At midfield, number 11, Joanna Loman. On defense, number 14, Kia McNeil. And at forward, number 17, Kaya Simon. The interim player coach is Kat Whitehill. Assistant coach, Christine Lilly. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay on your feet and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
Welcome back. It is time for the injury report brought to you by Sonosite, the official ultrasound of the Boston Breakers. Katie Shepfer tonight is probable with a groin injury, and she is not in the starting lineup. And Alex Salin is also questionable with a foot strain. It's the first game of the season that she is not starting. We also have Bianca D'Agostino for Boston, who is out for the season with that ACL injury. Jasmine Avant, Alyssa Nair, and Kaya Simon were all probable for the game, but all three of them are in the starting lineup, so it looks like their injuries will not be affecting them, at least for the early part of today. And then for Western New York, Brittany Taylor is questionable with a hip strain, but she is in the starting lineup. And Jody Ann Robinson, who scored that late goal for Western New York the last time these two teams met up in at Doughboy Stadium, she is probable with a right hand fracture.
And so the Breakers, with that sort of a full injury report, but as Maddie mentioned, Avant, Nair, and Simon in the starting lineup. Nair coming back from the surgery on her broken nose to repair that. And then talked about Alex Salin being out of the starting lineup. She was questionable, as Maddie said, with a foot strain. It would be her, obviously, if not her first missed start of the season, it might be her first missed game of the year as well. Time to take a look at our key player matchup tonight, and it's easy to guess what it'll be. The two national team teammates and the two of the three players tied for the most goals in the NWSL, Boston's Sydney LaRue and Western New York's Abby Wambach, each with 10 goals on the season in 15 games played. Of course, they've missed the same amount of games because they've gone on with the U.S. national team. on a couple of occasions this season. Abby Wambach also has 6 assists to her credit this year, which is tied for 3rd in the league. Sydney LaRue has an assist to her credit as well. And that 3rd player that they're tied with is FC Kansas City's Lauren Holiday. And FC Kansas City has been on a tear as of late. They have jumped all the way to the top of the table at 10-4-5 with 35 points in the NWSL this year. So the Breakers and Flash in a must-win for Boston, and the Flash can clinch a playoff spot with a victory and a loss by Chicago today. These two teams will play one more time, the finale of the season, 2 weeks from today at Western New York. That'll be the Fox Soccer Game of the Week. Referee in charge today is Christina Unkel. Assistant referees are Danielle Chesky and Bruno Mazzo. 4th official, Mark Allerton. Breakers in their blue uniforms. Western New York in the all-white. Taking a look at Kaya Simon, making her 14th appearance and 8th start of the season, standing next to Leanne Sanderson as well, who has now appeared in all 19 games for the Breakers, 18 starts. Sanderson had one of the 5 goals for the Breakers against Washington last Saturday. She now has 3 on the season, and we are underway here at Dilboy Stadium. Breakers and Flash, the penultimate, they actually have 2 more home games after this, so that's not correct. 2 more home games after this with Portland and then FC Kansas City before going on the road at Western New York. Long ball for Sydney LaRue. It goes out off of the Flash, and a throw in for the Breakers.
Boston's going to test this defense without Alex Salen. She's a leader back there, so with only 3 defenders in the back, Boston's going to try and get on the board early and really pressure this defense.
O'Reilly sends it into the box, trying to go after it. That was Rion Wilkinson playing the midfield today. And Western New York will try to break it out of their end. Pass comes to the near side, and not able to keep it alive is Samantha Kerr, who has 5 goals, 5 assists this year. The 19-year-old from Perth, Australia.
We see Rianne Wilkinson getting her first start this season in the midfield. She's a veteran player for the Canada national team, so having her on the field today is really definitely going to help Boston just have an extra leader and an extra voice on the field.
And that throw-in bounces out, so Western New York takes over possession. Catherine Reynolds throws it back in. Gets headed up the near sideline, and again out of bounds as Kerr can't get to it. So the ball goes back and forth, and the Breakers retain possession here. Sanderson tries to send it through to LaRue. Got directed back out. Now on the far side, Avant. Simon trying to make a turn, instead passes it to the sideline. Sanderson, quick touch out wide to Simon. Tries to send it towards the goal, maybe a cross attempt. It got deflected out. It'll be a corner kick for the Breakers.
That was a great run by Simon. She fed the ball off and then did that overlapping run, and the Western New York Flash wasn't ready for that, so it really pressured this defense, and this corner kick is a great offensive opportunity for Boston.
Heather O'Reilly will do the honors for the Breakers. 4 goals, 6 assists this season. Tied for 3rd in the league with those 6 assists. It comes in, it gets headed out. Sanderson sends it back in. Too much traffic in front, though. And played back for Julie King. She chips it towards the end line for Kat Whitehill, coming all the way up, but can't get to it. It'll be a goal kick for Adriana Franch, who's making her 19th start. 84 saves, leads the NWSL, a 0.94 goals against average, and 5 shutouts for the 22-year-old. Played collegiately at Oklahoma State.
Yeah, Franch is very young, but she's having a great season. It's her first professional season, and she's been a great asset for this Western New York team, kind of coming out of nowhere and having one of the best goalie seasons in the league.
As always, you can get in contact with the broadcast booth on Twitter using the hashtag BreakersTV. Let us know where you're watching from, who you're rooting for. Again, hashtag BreakersTV on Twitter. As a quick turnover, Western New York trying to turn it into offense. Wambach couldn't control the ball. Falling down Lohman, and a foul whistled on Western New York. We also want to apologize. We're unfortunately going to be out without instant replay capability for this broadcast here today, so just wanted to let everybody know tuning in. Some unfortunate circumstances will not allow us to run the instant replays today, so we again apologize for that. As that gets sent out by Sarah Huffman, but it was deflected by the Breakers. So just about 4 minutes in. Breakers in a must-win situation. If they lose, they're eliminated. I guess it's a must-not-lose situation. They could tie and still technically be alive. In Western New York, a win and a Chicago loss today would put them in the playoffs. That Chicago game against Seattle kicks off at 7 o'clock Eastern. So about an hour away, as does Washington at Sky Blue. And then tomorrow, you have the battle of the top 2 teams in the league, FC Kansas City at Portland. O'Reilly trying to get it to Simon. Too far out in front. Now Lohman, but way out in front and offsides is Sydney LaRue.
That's kind of been the Breakers' strategy all season long, is to push up with their offense, and Sydney LaRue is so fast, so they push her and try and send her. But when you do that, you're more susceptible to offsides calls, just like we saw there.
Franch will come up and take the kick. Sent across the field, an attempt to, intercepted by King. King steps up again and lobs it down the center of the field. Simon trying to track it down. He gets played to Catherine Reynolds. Who will tap it back to her defense mate, Brittany Taylor. Up the near sideline, kept in by Kerr nicely. And a nice move, step through by Zerboni. Zerboni with room to run. Sends it out wide for Kerr. Across, and intended for Wambach, but could not get her head on it. Now picked up and cleared out of there by Alyssa Nair.
And good job, Lloyd, coming in to have some extra support for Wambach, and she actually got that shot off, but good job by Nair. It wasn't a great shot, and she was right there to get the stop.
So the first real opportunity there for Western New York. The Breakers have already had a corner kick opportunity. LaRue on the near side. Sends it out front to get by the defender, the cross. And it'll lead it to a goal kick for Western New York.
Both Wilkinson and Simon were crashing the net right there, but they weren't fast enough to get to that cross in time. Otherwise, Wilkinson, if she had taken another, 1 or 2 steps more, she would have been in the perfect position to take that shot.
Wilkinson scored her first goal of the season last Saturday against Washington. Playing in the midfield, making her 9th start of the season, 11th appearance overall. Member of the Canadian national team. Left-footed by Zerboni. Wambach collides with Lohman. The Breakers take it the other way. Sanderson looked like she was trying to tap it forward for Simon to make a run. Couldn't get enough pace on it. And going down to track it for the Breakers, McNeil, and plays it for her keeper, Nair. So Western New York, one shot on goal so far. Unofficially by our tally, the Breakers not yet have got anything towards the net. And there's Wambach offsides, first whistled on the flash today. It's amazing taking a look at the numbers for Western New York in that game against Washington on Wednesday. Just absolute domination. Obviously 3-0 on the scoreboard, but shots were 23-1. Shots on goal 10-1, 13-2 in corners. Western New York spent 90 minutes just dominating the Spirit, who again, at the bottom of the standings just won 13-4, and they're playing out the string right now. O'Reilly tries to do something with Avant. Gets cleared out from the top of the box. Headed back towards the area. And it comes down to the right foot of Samantha Kerr. Kerr using speed to get by King. The cross gets popped up and to the end line, and it'll be a corner, first of the game for Western New York.
And it was a good recovery by King, because Kerr kind of got a step on her on the outside, but King got her foot on it and prevented a cross for Samantha Kerr. So it is a corner kick, though, for Western New York. So let's see how Boston lines up and defends this.
Taking the corner will be Adriana Martin. And a header got blocked down in front by a teammate of, look, that was Carly Lloyd who got the head on, and then it was blocked down by a teammate. I think that was Kerr. Just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Leads to another corner kick, though. Good look at the 26-year-old Adriana. And sent back out, but this time it'll be a throw-in. So the Breakers doing good defensively there. Stop any opportunity.
And that was Simon that came back and knocked the ball out. So you see Boston's defending as a team. That's what they need to do.
Reynolds throws it in. Zerboni back to Reynolds. Pops it up over the crossbar. And it'll be a goal kick for Alyssa Nair, who is making her 6th appearance and 5th start, a 2-1-1 record. 1.2 goals against average. 1 shutout. She hasn't seen Western New York this season, as the Breakers haven't seen the Flash since June the 5th. The 2-2 draw here at Dilboy Stadium. The Breakers won at Western New York on April 27th, 2-1. That was just the 2nd game of the season for the Breakers. Wambach connects with Zerboni. Zerboni didn't have an opportunity for a shot. Now stepping up, Salem. Quick touches back to Reynolds. Reynolds towards the top of the box, headed by McNeil. And now O'Reilly plays it forward for herself. Almost had a run out. Bounced around in the center circle, comes near side to Kerr. Kerr has trouble with it. King steps in. Rue will play it back. Use her defensive line. Lohman, pressure from behind, just got it away. And Whitehill, the player coach now of the Boston Breakers, decides to go back to her keeper, and then King has trouble with it, so a throw in for Western New York.
And that was Kerr right there pressuring that caused the turnover by Julie King.
And then Western New York can't take advantage of it. Quick restart. O'Reilly, long for Simon. She's on sides. Simon to the middle, LaRue. LaRue will try to pop it up. Maybe try to land it right over the head of Franch, but a little too much on it. Trying to finesse it down below the crossbar. Not an easy opportunity there for LaRue.
It was a good run by Simon, but because she was so far ahead and she had to wait for her offense to come, she had to drop the ball back to LaRue and wasn't able to cross it into the middle of the box.
Scott Sudikoff alongside Maddie Sattler. Alex Sims on the sideline. We thank you for tuning in to Boston Breakers Soccer, presented by Media Boss Television. In the 13th minute of action, Breakers and Western New York. Again, we invite you to use the hashtag BreakersTV on Twitter. Want to say hello to Chelsea, who is listening or watching in Columbus, Ohio, and rooting for the Breakers. She wants the last spot to come down to the last few games. Wants some intrigue. Don't want to have everything locked up. Still with a couple of weeks remaining. Breakers a win would stay alive for the time being. They host Portland on Wednesday, and then again host FC Kansas City next Saturday before the season finale 2 weeks from today against this same Flash team in Rochester. LaRue trying to get it to Sanderson, quickly sent out. And LaRue will move up and redo the throw-in. They get the ball back to LaRue. And again deflected out by the Flash. Breakers being patient with the ball in deep. LaRue's throw headed back. King, top of the box, and nice play by Carly Lloyd to send it all the way down. Western New York just 2-3-5 on the road this year, 6-1-1 at home. So they've made their hay in Rochester. Breakers a little more even Steven, 3-3-2 at home, 3-4-3 on the road. Some room there in the middle for Zerboni. Tries to go outside. And again, Zerboni moving up the far side and gets taken down from behind. Foul whistled on Boston. A little too much contact on that play.
So you have to think with some of these, free kicks and corner kicks, New York is going to be looking for the head of Abby Wambach. So it's really important that Boston shuts her down.
If I remember correctly, she had a header for a goal back here on June 5th. That was to give the Flash a 1-0 lead at the time in the 28th minute, assisted by Samantha Kerr. And it was a very pretty one as well, as most of them are. Comes all the way down and out. Huffman will be throwing in for Western New York. Wilkinson intercepts it. Simon, quick touch to Sanderson. Back to Wilkinson, stepping up. The cross blocked down, and it got almost through, though, and then deflected out, and they're going to call it a corner kick.
That was a great run by Wilkinson, another great overlap that she had. She just flew down that sideline. Western New York had no chance. They had no idea she was coming, and it was a great cross. Heather O'Reilly, just the defender got in her way, but this corner kick's important.
Second corner kick for the Breakers to match Western New York. O'Reilly sends it. McNeil trying to get up there for a header. It was too high and out of her reach. Tracked down by Whitehill. Whitehill hooks it to the far side and sent in a goal. And the Breakers lead 1-0. Kaya Simon.
That was a beautiful goal. Simon took the perfect touch on it. And it was a great cross by Kat Whitehill.
Kat Whitehill with the beautiful feed to the far end of the box, and Simon did the rest for her third goal of the season. Assist number 1 for Whitehill.
And that was one of the prettiest goals I think we've seen by the Breakers.
And unfortunately, we'll reiterate, a couple of minutes ago we said not with the unable to provide you instant replays today. Just some unforeseen circumstances have not allowed that, so hopefully you had your eyes on that and saw that pretty goal.
And that all, Whitehill was pushing up because it was a corner kick, so that allowed her, she was playing that really far position from the corner kick that allowed her to get back, get that ball, settle it down, get the cross off, and Simon was right there for that far post strike.
So a busy week for Kat Whitehill. Had her first goal of the season last Saturday, named player coach yesterday, and has her first assist of the season tonight. And the Breakers lead 1-0 in the 17th minute. Kaya Simon, her third of the season. And that is, I believe, Whitehill, who is down.
Yeah, she went up over Wambach, it looks like, and Wambach's a little upset because I think they called the foul on her, even though it was Whitehill who charged her from behind, and she took a tumble.
Whitehill, 31-year-old from Birmingham, Alabama, slow to get up. She's played in just almost every single second of the season. Has only missed a couple of minutes.
And
I think only 2 minutes all season she's missed.
She's important to be out there because she's a veteran. She's a leader. She's got international experience. And the players really look up to her.
Got 2 national titles at UNC, a gold medal in 2004 in Greece.
Yeah, but Wambach was upset because that foul call should have gone the other way.
It'll be bounced and picked up by French.
By number 17, Kaya Simon. Assistant referee to number 4, Kat Whitehill.
Almost a miscommunication there between Whitehill and King, but able to figure it out before any Western New York player can get involved. Comes down right to the middle. Simon and Lohman can't gain control. Kerr trying to get away from both Wilkinson and King. You can hear a lot of communication on the field today between the two teams. Wonderful microphones on the field picking up the action.
The Boston Breakers would like to acknowledge the following groups attending tonight's match. Vermont Elite Soccer, Norton Youth Soccer, Franklin Youth Soccer, Haverhill Youth Soccer, Fieldhouse of Canaan, New York, Abbey Villa Soccer Club, Typhoon FC,
Kept in by Carly Lloyd.
Tewksbury Soccer Club,
Breakers try counterattack, and the Flash sent it all the way back down into the box, picked up by Alyssa Nair.
Ronald McDonald House, Hopkinton High School, Easton Youth Soccer, Tosh Farrell Development Under 13.
Beautiful day here in Somerville.
Summit FC,
Good weather day for a soccer match, not too hot. As we have those heat waves get by us, thankfully. Comes out wide. And the pass towards the box deflected out. It'll be a corner. Adriana going over there to do it.
And that was Avant coming over to make that defensive stop.
Western New York trying to find the equalizer. Wambach got up there, but heads it back out towards Adriana. And then her, I guess, go with shot just a little bit high and wide, maybe more than a little bit. And an easy goal kick upcoming.
And Nair's playing with that face mask. She suffered a broken nose against Sky Blue on June the 26th, and she's been out the last couple games because of nose surgery, but she's back, and Boston's glad to have her.
In fact, she played a couple of games after that and then needed the surgery eventually and had to miss a couple of games. Ashley Phillips making some starts, earned the victory last Saturday. 23rd minute of play, the Breakers lead 1-0 on a 17th minute goal from Kaya Simon, assisted by Kat Whitehill. Western New York has a couple of shots, one on goal. Same can be said for the Breakers, and they've taken advantage of that one on goal. Left foot into the box, coming up Lloyd. So Carly Lloyd going right down the heart of the field.
the Boston Breakers would like to wish a very
Sent it up over the crossbar.
to Casey Macaruso, Tia Zanardi,
That was a good shot by Lloyd. She was wide open, you know, coming
O'Sullivan,
all the way up and pressuring.
Abby Hamlin, and Sophia Teixeira. Happy birthday from the Breakers.
And Sanderson gets a little shove there from Salem, and they'll call it. 5th foul on Western New York. They are a fairly aggressive team.
Yeah, but it's important that New York not get frustrated being down 1-0 because there's still plenty of time left in this game. So these fouls they really can't afford to take.
Whitehill lobs it near sideline. King trying to control it for herself. Now Simon as King overlaps. Sanderson back to King. King, a nice little flip to Simon. The cross, and it goes through. But excellent offense from the Breakers. They quickly throw it in.
Yeah, LaRue stopped her run because she thought Wilkinson was going to get to that. And when Wilkinson didn't, LaRue wasn't there on that far post to get the shot.
So Wilkinson was maybe inches from a second goal in as many games. Sanderson taps it for Wilkinson. Wilkinson in a little bit of trouble and taken away. And then a mix-up as Wambach was going to sprint up the field, and Lloyd tried to go back to her. Breakers have had good extended pressure in their offensive end. Western New York will take a throw-in. The Breakers will take it, but Western New York electing just to get it out of bounds and reset the defense. Zerboni took it from Sanderson. Now LaRue, though, trying to curl it towards that far corner, but air mills it out the opposite end.
But this is what you like to see. You like to see Boston pressuring and getting shots off. You know, this defensive unit of the Flash usually includes Alex Salin, so maybe they're having some communication issues or defensive issues without her today, and Boston's going to try and test that.
Wambach, double teamed by O'Reilly and McNeil. Wilkinson at the edge of the box. Sanderson got tripped up. Maybe tried to sell the call a bit. Avant, dangerous area. Kerr steps in and just gets deflected out.
Yeah, that took a bad bounce on Avant, and that's why she wasn't able to get the initial touch she thought she would have on it, and she just had to kick it out.
So the third corner kick, or fourth corner kick for Western New York. Second one on this far side. Wambach right now out of your picture. And they whistle it before anything can happen. Now you see Wambach there, right there in the middle, number 20.
And it was Whitehill and Lloyd really getting physical with each other.
Yep, Lloyd and Whitehill again as the whistle blows.
Wilkinson, excuse me.
And then it whistle and a yellow card going to be issued to Carly Lloyd, it looks like. So a little too much going on there for the referee's liking.
Well, the referee whistled before and gave Lloyd and Wilkinson the warning. So they continued to push each other, and Lloyd got the yellow card.
Fourth yellow card caution of the season for Lloyd.
And this, you know, kind of forces her to be a little bit less aggressive, which will play to Boston's advantage today because Lloyd is a very aggressive player.
Second on the team in goals with 6. 2 of the 6 game winners. And now a Flash player down. It's Wambach.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. A yellow card caution has been issued by the referee to the Flash's number 10, Carly Lloyd, in the 28th minute.
The referee, Christina Unkel, directing traffic a bit right now. And trying to figure out what the discussion going on is right now, but hard for us to tell all the way up here.
I think they wanted a foul call on Wambach going down, but Western New York didn't get that.
Breakers throw in here. 29th minute, 1-0 Breakers on the 17th minute goal by Kaya Simon, assisted by Kat Whitehill. Third goal for Simon. First assist for Whitehill, who was named player coach yesterday, with Lisa Cole departing after a season plus, 17-10-5. Lisa Cole's record as head coach of the Breakers.
And it's also news that Christine Lilly will be taking over in the assistant coaching duties for Boston.
3 games remaining after this one with Western New York. Portland and FC Kansas City here, and then back at Western New York on August the 17th to end the year. Breakers need to avoid a loss to stay alive in the playoff chase. They trail this 4th place Flash team by 7 points. And with 2 matchups remaining, it is obviously possible for the Breakers. I mean, you have to look at winning out, really. Can't even afford a tie. At least the draw would keep them alive for the time being.
But Boston really wants the win today, and you can see they're playing.
3 straight games at home. They got to take advantage of that for sure.
Absolutely.
These are Western New York and Portland coming up. Teams who have beat this year. They have the confidence in that end. First things first, though, of course, as Simon slips down. Trying to throw it for LaRue, and comes out of the box, and all Franch could do is kick it out. So that pressure of LaRue with the speed forces that quick restart in.
Yeah, once Franch started going for it and LaRue was chasing her, she really had to commit and go full speed for that ball.
O'Reilly a quick give back with LaRue. Now Lohman gets by her defender, gets to LaRue, some room for the shot, and it's right off the chest of Franch, makes the catch. A little too much room for Sydney LaRue there if you're a Western New York player. You'd be a little further out than she would have liked to have been on that shot attempt.
And with 10 goals of the season, you really need to pressure Sydney LaRue and lock her down.
Tie for the league high in goals with Western New York's Abby Wambach and Kansas City's Lauren Holiday. Wambach looking for goal number 11 potentially. And a nice play, Joanna Lohman, the clean slide tackle. And that's too far out in front of Kerr. And Nair will gobble it up and throw it to the far side. Just about 32 minutes in. The Breakers on top 1-0. Kaya Simon in the 17th minute, assisted by Kat Whitehill. You're looking live at Dilboy Stadium, Somerville, Massachusetts, just outside of Boston. A beautiful early evening. Scott Sudakoff alongside Maddie Sattler, Alex Sims on the sideline. Use the hashtag Breakers TV on Twitter to get in contact with us here in the booth. Let us know where you're watching from, who you're rooting for, who your favorite players are, or whatever you got for us. And it may or may not be read on the air. Sometimes there are too many to read. And a foul whistled on Western New York. Their 7th foul. Boston has 1. Breakers right back here Wednesday to play Portland again. The Thorns beating the Breakers on this field back on July the 21st, 2-1. Getting revenge for that 2-0 Breakers shutout in the Pacific Northwest just a couple of weeks prior to that. Wilkinson to Sanderson. Simon takedown and a foul again.
So this is a key play right here. Gives Boston a great chance to really push up, pressure this defense, and try and get a shot off. And O'Reilly's really skilled at taking these kicks.
O'Reilly repositions it as her teammates set up around the field. There it is, and it goes right to Franch, who then loses her footing, able to hold on to it.
Good job by Franch to jump in and get that one. Whitehill was on that far post, and had Franch let that go through, Whitehill only would have needed to put on easy touch on it to redirect it on net.
Western New York throw in, Kerr. Gets it into Salem. Western New York retreating here, trying to set it up. Long lead ahead, and easy play from there to come up. But intercepted. And that'll be a foul on Lohman, and could also be a card. That's Carly Lloyd down. And it will be a yellow card on Joanna Lohman. So Lohman, her second yellow of the season on the takedown of Carly Lloyd.
And Lohman has been defending Carly Lloyd for a good part of this day in that holding midfield position. I'm sure she's, right there saying
Good sportsmanship there.
no, nothing personal or anything like that.
Just a hustle play, and sometimes those lead to plays of that nature.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. A yellow card caution has been issued by the referee to the Breakers number 11, Joanna Lohman.
Brittany Taylor
36th minute.
with the kick there. Comes all the way back to midfield. King and Wilkinson with the header attempts. And Reynolds can't keep it in.
And good job by McNeil on that initial free kick to get her head on it and knock it out and really shut down that chance for Western New York. McNeil and Whitehill have their hands full today. They're trading back and forth covering Abby Wambach, so they're going to have a busy day.
Say hello to Laura watching the game in Scotland, saying hello with the hashtag BreakersTV. She's a Flash fan today. We've had some Breakers fans, a Flash fan, tweeting in Breakers TV hashtag on Twitter.
King's also got a busy day today defending Samantha Kerr, the 19-year-old from Perth, Australia.
Speaking of Australia, here comes Kaya Simon, who has the goal for the Breakers. On that sideline, the cross outside of the net, and a goal kick.
That was Jasmine Avant pushing all the way up, and that's the speed factor that she brings to the Breakers defense, and that's going to really help them if Abby Wambach does get past Kat Whitehill and Kia McNeil. Avant really has the speed and the skill to race her down.
Avant, her 8th game, 8th start since joining the Breakers as a free agent on June the 28th. She played 4 games with Portland this season before being released and then signing on with Boston. Had an assist in her first game against Sky Blue. Hasn't missed a minute since joining the Breakers. Breakers, they added Avant, really able to solidify the defense after a lot of changes along that line for the first couple of months of the season.
Yeah, they had a lot of different defensive lineups they put out there, and now we've seen these 4 have kind of solidified that back line.
And Sydney LaRue almost able to do something with that long pass. Franch with the goal kick. Franch has played the most minutes in goal in the NWSL this season. Mentioned the most saves entering play offside is Western New York. having now allowed 18 goals, and today is her 19th game. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out. Fewer goals in games played is a goal to reach for. Overuse of the word goal there, but I think you get the point.
And coming into today, Western New York had a very good goals for versus goals allowed ratio. Was plus 14, it's plus 13 now. And I talked to Coach Lyons the other day, and he said that was really important in the past when they've had the best ratio, they've been able to win championships.
Do remember Western New York was the champions of the WPSL Elite a year ago. And right now trying to secure a playoff spot, maybe go for the inaugural NWSL championship. They need a win and a Chicago loss. Chicago kicks off with Seattle in about 20 minutes. Here comes Kerr. Kerr with the right foot, deflected up, and a save by Nair. Just got a hand on it. Quick burst there by Samantha Kerr.
And good job by Nair to punch that one up and over the net.
Second save for Nair. Franch has one save for Western New York. Fifth corner kick right now for the Flash. See some fans sitting on the grass there behind the goal. A large crowd on hand, another sellout at Dilboy Stadium. Comes outside of the box. There's LaRue, who can really be anywhere on the field with her speed. Can make up ground so quickly. Throws it in for Lohman. 41st minute. Kaya Simon has given the Breakers a 1-0 advantage in the 17th minute on a beautiful feed from Kat Whitehill. Third goal of the season for Simon. First assist for Whitehill. Long pass. LaRue tracks it down. And gains the throw in here on the near sideline. It's always nice when the players get the throw-ins on that near side where our cameras are located. We'll get a good look on the field. O'Reilly tries to turn and cross it with the left foot, deflected out. And she'll gain the corner.
That wasn't a bad idea by O'Reilly because all she had to do was knock it off her defender, go off that back line, and Boston gets another corner kick there, third of the game.
Oh, and Simon almost got the head on looking for her second goal. Whitehill picks it up on the far side. Trying to break it down against Reynolds. Looking for some space. Instead, sends it back. Sanderson across looking for LaRue. King will go and track it down. Ooh. And O'Reilly and Lloyd colliding, and it looked like O'Reilly maybe got the top of her head back into the jaw of Lloyd. That did not look or sound good.
It looked like actually O'Reilly was going to strike the ball forward, and the ball just knocked off the face of Carly Lloyd.
Okay, hopefully it was that and not what I thought I saw. It looked as if O'Reilly had put her head back and made contact with Lloyd, incidental, but as hopefully Maddie, who has the better eyes.
I'm sure it really shocked her, but at least it wasn't two heads colliding because that could be
And that's what I thought
dangerous.
Initially. But yeah, she looks.
You know, getting hit in the nose, even with a soccer ball, is one of the worst feelings.
Again, if you've tuned in late, unfortunately, without the capability of instant replay here today, so we apologize for that. We'll keep an eye as Lloyd is on the side. Well, she's on this near sideline. Now comes back in the game. Gets the go-ahead from the trainer. Enters back onto the field. And the Breakers give possession to Western New York. 44th minute. LaRue tracking it down towards the corner with the right foot cross. Doesn't get through, but Sanderson along the ground, and Franch dives. Probably going wide, but Franch taking no chances, wants to be able to get rid of it.
And she had to dive for that one because she was on the other side of the net.
Here's Lloyd. Chips it. And offside whistled on Western New York.
Breakers fans, grab your Breakers Nike t-shirts, hoodies, caps, and replica jerseys at the merchandise tent located at the stadium entrance.
And Avant wrestling there with Kerr. We're in the 45th minute. Trying to get word on extra time for this first half. LaRue threw up the sideline to Simon. Simon has O'Reilly down the middle of the field. Gets it to her. O'Reilly turns. Not had the opportunity for a shot. She was the only blue jersey there with a bunch of white around her.
And that was Catherine Reynolds, who was running step for step with O'Reilly and sprinted that one down for New York, Western New York.
Two minutes of extra time added on here in the first half. Lohman going up against Wambach. Western New York wins the possession, but passed to nobody in particular and picked up by Alyssa Nair.
I think Boston, heading into the locker room at halftime, they're going to be pretty pleased with their performance so far. They've really pressured this Western New York defense and kept possession very well in their own offensive end.
Unofficially out shooting Western New York 5-4, 3-2 in the on-goal category. Western New York does have 5 corner kicks to Boston's 3. Western New York with 8 fouls. 2 for Boston. And the goal in the 17th minute from Kaya Simon. And that's how it is 1-0 Boston. Winding down the 2 minutes of extra time here in the first half. Maybe the Breakers look to attack one more time.
At least prevent the Flash from getting any more chances, at least in the half.
Keep it tuned here during halftime. Alex Sims will be in the stands talking to some of the great Breakers fans and just soccer fans in general that have come out to this game. A lot of these fans obviously coming to see Abby Wambach as well. She got a nice reaction from the crowd during the starting lineups. As that goes out, and that will end the first half of play. And a good first half for the Breakers as they take a 1-0 lead into the halftime locker room. Kaya Simon scoring in the 17th minute, assisted by Kat Whitehill. Third goal for Simon, first goal for Whitehill, first assist for Whitehill on the season, excuse me. And the Breakers with the 1-0 advantage heading into halftime. Again, keep it tuned here during halftime. Alex Sims will be talking to some of our great fans in the stands, and when we come back, we'll have some stats and the second half of action for you as well. 1-0 Breakers the score. You're watching Breakers Soccer live from Boston.
Hi guys, we're here at halftime and I'm here with my first group of fans in the stands. Now these girls are from the Fieldhouse Canaan. Now girls, tell me, what's your favorite part of the game so far?
I'm loving Abby's headers. They are killing it.
Now, how many Breakers games have you guys been to this year?
2.
2? How about you?
2 as well.
What is your favorite player on the Breakers?
Probably Heather O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Leanne Sanderson.
Yeah. Now, predictions, final score of the game.
2-0 Breakers.
Yeah?
1-0 Breakers.
1-0? Okay. Well, thanks guys, and we'll get our next fans in a few minutes. Back to you.
Woo. Hi. Wow.
Thank you guys.
Oh, I forgot to say my
Soccer is proud to partner with the Boston Breakers for their 2013 campaign. We Got Soccer is the nation's largest soccer specialty store and is your source for all your soccer needs. Visit our We Got Soccer flagship retail store in Foxborough or shop us online for the greatest selection of soccer gear and apparel. You live it, you love it, you play it. We Got Soccer has it. Visit us at wegotsoccer.com. Dependable Cleaners is a proud sponsor of the Boston Breakers. To celebrate its partnership, it has launched the Dependable Play of the Game contest. After each game, Boston Breakers fans will have a chance to win free dry cleaning by visiting the Dependable Cleaners.
And we are back with our second group with fans in the stands. Now, girls, these girls are from Milford Soccer Club. Now, girls, tell us, what was your favorite part of the game so far?
Probably watching Sydney LaRue play. She's pretty good.
How about Kaya Simon's goal?
That was really cool. That was a really nice goal.
Now, who's your favorite player on the Breakers?
Sydney LaRue.
What about you?
Sydney LaRue. Sydney LaRue.
Is this your first time at the Breakers game? Do you hope to be Breakers someday?
Yeah.
All right, now, last question. Predictions of the score.
2-0 Breakers. 1-0.
2-0 Breakers.
What about you?
2-0 probably.
Okay, all right, on count of three, say go Breakers, all right? 1, 2, 3.
Go Breakers!
Stay tuned for our last group of fans in the stands.
Care ultrasound for our team doctors and trainers. Help build safe places for children to play. Teach them how to live healthy lifestyles and provide mentors that are invested in the successful development of each child. Join the U.S. Soccer Foundation team and be a champion for today's youth. Visit www.creatingchances.org to learn more. Fans, please welcome back the Western New York Flash.
I'm back with our last group of fans in the stands. Now, girls, tell me what club you're from.
Bayside.
South. What was your favorite part of the game so far?
I love Abby's headers. They're awesome.
I like seeing both teams compete since I love players on both teams, and it's just so fun because they're both really good matches.
Now, who's your favorite player?
Fans, please welcome
Sydney
back
LaRue.
What do you think about Kaya Simon's goal?
I thought that was awesome.
It was beautiful.
Now, what do you think about predictions for them in the game?
1-1. I want to see a tie.
Definitely a tie.
Tie, not a win?
No, I want to see the other
They're
team
both
catch
really
up.
good teams, yeah.
All right, now, if you guys want to be fans in the stand as well, come to the game and maybe I can interview you too. Tweet me at Alex Sims and I'll hopefully interview you.
All right, thank you very much, Alex. Scott Sudakoff alongside Maddie Sattler at halftime here at Dilboy Stadium with the score. The Breakers won and Western New York nothing. Maybe those fans want a tie. I think the Breakers fans here in attendance would like to see the Breakers get a victory here today and keep their playoff hopes alive. Mentioned the goal scored by Kaya Simon. That came in the 17th minute. Beautiful feed from Kat Whitehill to the far post. Good run by Kaya Simon. Good strike to score. One-touch strike for that goal. Really a picture-perfect goal to get on the board for the Breakers.
Yeah, that was a beautiful strike. It was all set up by that corner kick. Whitehill was pushed up, and her cross was phenomenal. Kaya Simon had an easy job. All she had to do was put a nice foot on it.
Third goal of the season for Simon, and for Whitehill, just her first assist of the season. Had her first goal of the season last Saturday. Named player coach yesterday. So a busy week for Kat Whitehill on and off the field. And so the Breakers have that 1-0 lead here heading into the second half of play. And we'll take a look at some of the stats here in this first half.
Yeah, Boston is out shooting Western New York 5-3 shots on goal. Boston leads that 3-1. Offsides call. Western New York's been pushing up a lot. They have 3 to Boston's 1. Fouls. Western New York has 8 fouls. The Breakers just 2, and then Western New York leads in corner kicks 5-3. 2 yellow cards were also issued in the first half to Lloyd and Joanna Lohman.
Yeah, Joanna Lohman for the Breakers, Carly Lloyd for Western New York with those yellow cards. So we're moments away from the second half beginning here. The Breakers trying to probably add to their lead. They want to obviously get the 3 points here today, stay alive in the playoff race. A loss and they are eliminated. Western New York a win and a loss by Chicago. They'll be in the playoffs. Chicago is about to kick off with Seattle out in Chicago. So we'll try to keep an eye on that. Obviously, when this game ends, they'll be at about halftime, so won't have a final for any of the Western New York fans tuning in with that game. But, of course, they will have the option to follow along as well at nwslsoccer.com, on Twitter, and all different types of media nowadays here in the year 2013, as you well aware. And one of those ways you can get in contact with us as well on Twitter, #BreakersTV, and let us know where you're watching from, who you're rooting for, and all that good stuff. Let's head it back down to the field. Second half about to begin here at Dilboy Stadium. In fact, it is now underway with the Breakers leading Western New York 1-0. We thank you for tuning in here on Media Boss Television. Scott Sudikoff alongside Maddie Sattler. Once again, Alex Sims on the field. Breakers the 1-0 advantage on Western New York here at Dilboy Stadium.
Yeah, and I'm sure Boston wants to get another goal or 2 on the board because with Wambach, with Lloyd, with Samantha Kerr, Western New York is a dangerous team.
And Western New York looking for a handball.
Yeah, that knocked off the elbow of McNeil, so there was a no call there. I think the Flash would have liked to have that one.
This is Simon, the goal scorer for the Breakers, coming up the near sideline. We'll circle it back, taps for Sanderson. Return to Simon, and we'll play it back for Avant. Stepping up Carly Lloyd, or check that, that is Estelle Johnson, who knocked it away. No substitutions that we were told about coming into the second half. We'll double check on that, of course. As it's picked up by Adriana Franch. In the first half had 2 saves. Say hello to Rosalind watching the game in the Ukraine. Rooting on the Boston Breakers. Getting in touch with us using the #BreakersTV. We've had Scotland, we've had Ukraine so far, as well as Canada. Foul whistled on the Breakers.
So Boston will have to treat this like a corner kick situation almost and really lock down on especially Abby Wambach because her headers are dangerous.
Kick centers the box and dangerously there towards the line, but Breakers able to clear it away. Good play. Let's get it up the sideline. A quick give and a go, but too far out in front. Sun beginning to set here at Dilboy Stadium.
Yeah,
A lot of the fans down below us shielding their eyes and making it a little tough to see the action on that far side of the field. As Samantha Kerr has it taken away by Lohman. Lohman pressured, taken away the shot from far out, but right there, holding her ground, Nair didn't have anywhere to go. Ball came right to her. Second save officially for Nair tonight.
Yeah, and for New York, I'm sure the strategy coming back out for this half is to really score off early and take the momentum away from the Breakers because the Breakers pretty much dominated that first half.
not to speak too ill of Washington, but both of these teams coming off playing against Washington, team at the bottom of the standings, really struggling on the season. The sort of the intensity of this type of game, much different than it was for Western New York Wednesday against Washington and for Boston last Saturday against Washington. As that play is on sides for Kerr. She gets by Nair and then misses the goal.
Yeah, Kerr's definitely disappointed with herself there. She had a wide open shot, and McNeil was starting to cut her down and trying to cut off that angle, but Kerr did have a step on her, and shooting that one right over the goal. That's not what you want to see from her.
And nice play by Wilkinson, who has made most of her appearances this season as a defender, but making the start in the midfield today after scoring her first goal of the season last Saturday. Throw-in goes to Zerboni. Gets it back. Some room for a cross. Bounces all the way through and then tapped out by Whitehill. Avant couldn't get it out of the box, and then Kerr, another opportunity, splits the uprights, but above the crossbar and a goal kick for the Breakers. So Kerr, a couple of chances.
Yeah, and that one right there took a bounce, and Kerr kind of needed to curve her body over it and make that a lower shot. The bounce kind of allowed it to be up through the uprights.
By going to Twitter.com/Boston Breakers and become our friend at Facebook.com/Boston Breakers.
Wilkinson, pass knocked down, comes down to Simon. And Wilkinson plays it back for Avant. One touch, Sanderson trying to go to Wilkinson and then sent out. Breakers throw it. Sanderson switches fields with it to the far side. O'Reilly switched spots there, I believe, with King. Whitehill got to move it back to the near sideline. Western New York getting in the way. O'Reilly for Sanderson. Sanderson against Salem. Able to keep it for the Breakers. Lohman. Breakers doing a good job keeping possession, controlling the ball, waiting for their chance. Wilkinson skims it along the sideline. Is actually deflected out, so a throw in for Wilkinson. Breakers scoring in the 17th minute. It was Kaya Simon from Cat Whitehill. Wilkinson's throw quickly headed back to her by LaRue. Another throw in.
And this is what Boston needs to do. They don't need to force anything. They just need to keep possession and wait for the perfect chance.
LaRue. Simon trying to head it into the box. She did head it in the box, but nobody there. And McNeil lets it go. Breakers, though, a couple of minutes of possession there. At the very least, eating some clock and wearing down the defenders and really the overall team of Western New York. And a foul on Western New York. It may have been a handball. Not sure. Breakers without goalkeeper Cecilia Santiago right now. She's been called up to the Mexican under-20 team. So best of luck to her in camp. She has appeared 3 times this season, a 2-1-0 record. Mostly that was early in the season, and then Ashley Phillips took over. Then Alyssa Nair came to the team, and so Nair has been the starter when healthy. Missing a couple matches due to the nose surgery, and now back in there. Santiago, though, of course, a rising star. At just 18 years old.
Yeah, and the coaching staff and the officials of the Mexican national team really like her, getting this experience in the States and getting a chance to play against some of the best players in the world. And just learning from watching the game and from going to the practices has really helped her.
Yeah, just practicing with this Breakers team is good experience for her. As O'Reilly trying to gain the corner, she gets it. Number 4 for the Breakers. O'Reilly tied for 3rd in the league in assists with 6. She tied with Abby Wambach.
And Rianne Wilkinson is coming out of the game. It looks like Schepfer is going to be coming in, and she was probable before the game, so.
Yeah, probable with a groin strain, so she will come into the action and take over that midfield spot from Wilkinson.
Yeah, and that just, Schepfer is a more offensive-minded player, while Wilkinson is a more defensive-minded player, so it looks like Boston has scoring another goal as one of their main focuses of this half.
O'Reilly's corner kick. To the far post, headed towards the middle. Simon can't get to it. Kerr pops it up into the air, comes down. King back towards the top of the 18.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Substitution for
And it goes out at the center line.
entering the match.
Throw in for Boston. So Katie Schepfer into the match, playing in her 18th game. 2 goals, 1 assist for the 24-year-old. Played collegiately at Penn State. Rianne Wilkinson goes to the bench. And for a sideline report, here is Alex
Scott.
Sims.
I just want to talk about the physicality of this game so far. Like I mentioned earlier, you know, it was going to be a pretty physical game. I mean, the New York is in 4th place, Boston Breakers obviously in 5th, so I figured it was going to be a pretty physical game, and like I said, it was true in the first half so far. Carly Lloyd and Johanna Lohman both issued a yellow card, so clearly, like I said, a very physical game. And I also want to talk a little bit about the mood so far, the mood of this game with all the changes that has happened since yesterday without the head coach, Lisa Cole. The players look pretty happy. They seem like they're in the zone, and they're really focusing on getting that win tonight. Back up to you guys.
Thank you very much, Alex, and very true, very physical game so far. A lot of fouls, mostly from Western New York. You have the 2 yellow cards, as Alex mentioned. Carly Lloyd for Western New York, Joanna Lohman for Boston, and then obviously a big story coming into the game was the news that came out last night with the departure of head coach Lisa Cole and Kat Whitehill taking over as player coach, and the Breakers have looked good on the field. It's obviously hard to know, if there's any, just a little extra fire under them, or just they're in a must-win situation. I think either way, they had to come out with fire, and seeing that right now, the 1-0 lead, Kaya Simon in the 17th minute.
I think all the players will agree that the must-win situation is really fueling them here today. They don't want their season to end.
Don't want it to end in 2 weeks on an August 17th finale. They want to sneak their way into that 4th position and get to the semifinals. And then from there, anything, of course, can happen.
And that's why we see that June 5th tie, late game tie by New York was so important. That could be a 2-point difference, and Boston would have 25 points and New York would have 28, and it would be a completely different situation.
Yeah, Jody Ann Robinson scoring an extra time to tie that one up and taking 2 points away from the Breakers and stealing a point for themselves. So if you look at the standings and you think all the way back to June 5th, at that time, didn't think much of it. You hope that it wouldn't come back to bite the Breakers, but it could in the standings. And then you could look at, obviously you could look at any game. And the first game of the season against Washington, they were trailing 1-0 in the stoppage time and were able to tie it. So in that sense, they stole points there. So it, matter of speaking, it does even out across the season. But there are opportunities throughout the year that you wish you could go back and just really nail down an extra 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30, really it was 30 seconds that Jody Ann Robinson scored that was left in stoppage time.
So that's why it's important for Boston here today to play a complete game. They can't fall apart late. They've got to keep going, keep pressuring, keep pushing, and make very clean passes, clean runs, and just stick to their game plan for the full time.
Breakers team that's been streaky. Started the year 4-game unbeaten streak. Had a 5-game winless streak middle of the year, and then had another 4-game unbeaten streak recently before losing 2 of the last 3. To the far post, that was McCall Zerboni. Couldn't sneak it in.
And Zerboni's also a leader in the middle of the field. She's played every game so far, started every game so far.
Say hello to Roxanne watching the broadcast in Quebec, Canada. Not sure if she means Quebec City or just Quebec in general. She is a Breakers supporter, and she says she will be here this Wednesday for the match against Portland.
You know, with it being an 8-team league, fans do have to travel a ways to see some of their favorite players. Coming all the way from Quebec, it's kind of a journey.
Not too bad. Could be worse coming from Portland.
That's true.
Quebec, I've had the pleasure of being in Quebec City a couple of times. It is, I'll use the word fun. It's a fun place to go. Spent a lot of time at the Le Stade Municipal in Quebec City, where the Quebec Capitals play baseball. They're a professional baseball team up there. They treated baseball games like hockey matches up there. As Sanderson going against Estelle Johnson. And it goes the end line, and it's a goal kick. Roxanne was using the hashtag BreakersTV to say hello to us. As Adriana French will have the goal kick. And French sent that one out of bounds. And then French a little hunched over after that. Hopefully for Western New York's sake, she didn't tweak anything on that missed kick. She has been the stalwart on the goal line. 19 starts now.
She's played all but 2 minutes, so really they need her back there.
Carly Lloyd playing with the yellow card. Going against Avant. Turns back the other way to her left foot, trying to get something off, and then do they call this a foul on Lloyd? Or is it just out? Nothing on Lloyd, which of course she'd be gone. And now Avant is talking to referee Christina Unkel. It's a corner kick for Western New York.
Well, good to see Avant get back up.
Sixth corner kick for Western New York. First here of the second half. The far side, or attempted to go there, and then popped up and out of play by Angela Salem.
And Abby Wambach wanted a call right there because she was knocked down before the ball was even kicked. So they're being very aggressive on these corner kicks.
Into the 63rd minute, the Breakers got on the board in the 17th minute. Kaya Simon scoring from Kat Whitehill. Whitehill sent the pass from the left side of the box. Far post run by Simon, and then one-touch strike into the net to beat Adriana French. Alyssa Nair has made 3 saves, 2 of them in the second half here for Boston. French has made a pair of saves. Samantha Kerr's had a couple of opportunities today in the second half. One on a virtually an empty net, and then a second one where right in the middle of the box, just sent it up high over the crossbar and through the football uprights behind the goal. Kerr a couple of opportunities to tie this one up.
And Kerr's a really fun young player to watch. She's been on the international scene for the Australian national team. She's only 19 years old, so it's great that she's coming and playing with this league, and fans in the States get to see her play.
5 goals, 5 assists. It's Katie Schepfer trying to win the ball there. A shot, and it goes by the far post. Not sure if Franch got a hand on it or not.
It looked like the defender got just a toe on it, but Katie Schepfer really fought for that one, got past her defender, and a corner kick for Boston.
Couple of substitutions for the Flash. Vicky DiMartino and Veronica Perez in. Zerboni and Adriana out. Here comes the corner from O'Reilly. Wambach gets up there, heads it out. Simon trying to keep it alive. Sanderson a shot, and it's in. 2-0 Breakers. 4th goal of the season for Leanne Sanderson, and it took forever to get her first and her second, and then now is scored in consecutive games.
And for Sanderson, she was up at the top of the box. No one was defending her, so she thought, let's take a shot, and that was a great thinking for her because Franch was not ready for it, was not prepared for a shot from that far back. Especially with everyone being pushed so close to the goal for the corner kick, Sanderson was a little farther back and was able to get the shot and the goal.
So Sanderson, the 65th minute, makes it 2-0 Breakers.
And that's exactly what Boston need. They need to take all the momentum away from New York and really play the game their style, their way.
Sanderson, for most of the season, led the league in assists. As that was dangerous for a moment there. Wambach. Zerboni out of the game, of course, on that last substitution. Wambach going in there and looking for a header and then kind of just pulled away, and at the last second, almost had a collision with the protected face of Alyssa Nair. So Sanderson, the 65th minute, her 4th of the season. I was just saying that had those 7 assists to lead the league for a while, been quiet there, but has picked up the goal scoring, so still involved in the offense. And 2 consecutive games with goals for Sanderson.
And Sanderson's been, a dynamic threat for Boston. She's made an appearance in every single game, started all but one of the games so far this season. She's fast, she's an offensive threat. And she's really smart. She's always hungry for the ball. She wants it. And it also looks like Mariah Noguera is in for Kaya Simon.
Avant racing after it against Kerr. And yes, Noguera in and Simon out. So Simon had the first goal in the 17th minute. She takes a seat.
So Noguera kind of helps in that holding midfield position. So with a 2-goal lead, Boston is going to just really try and lock down defensively, stop Western New York.
So in the end, you've subbed in Noguera and Schepfer for Wilkinson and Simon, and able to shift around positioning here and tailor the lineup to this 2-0 lead.
Yeah, so Schepfer will push up and be more of a forward position instead of that midfield position.
Noguera has started 16 games entering play today.
Entering the match is number 20, Mariah Noguera. Leading the match is number 17, Kaya Simon.
Sent ahead by Huffman offside. It is Vicky DiMartino, the 21-year-old from Boston College, just down the road. Appearing in her 9th game, 1 goal, 1 assist.
And she's played in the U.S. youth scene, so she also is a great player, a great asset.
Jasmine Avant will throw it in for Boston. Breakers a 2-0 advantage, trying to remain alive in the playoff chase. A win today would pull them within 4 points of 4th place Western New York. Chicago is tied right now with the Breakers as well, and they are in action right now against Seattle. So if you're a Breakers fan, you're rooting for Seattle. If you're a Western New York fan, you are rooting for Seattle as well. So nobody rooting for Chicago, in this game at least. Foul whistled on Western New York. Western New York clinches a spot with a win and a Chicago loss. Right now, Western New York may be thinking, at the very least, try to steal a point away, just like they did back on June the 5th, when they were down 2-1 in the last 30 seconds of stoppage time.
And coming into the game, coming off 2 wins, New York, or Coach Line said that New York was really starting to play well and getting some momentum as the season winding down. So this is a kind of game that almost takes the momentum away. And that's not, if you're a Flash fan, what you want to see.
And by the way, the Sanderson goal was unassisted. Her 4th of the season in the 65th minute. Hashtag Breakers TV to say hello to the booth here. Scott Sudikoff alongside Maddie Sattler, Alex Sims on the sideline. Thank you for tuning in. Broadcast brought to you by Media Boss Television. As a corner for Western New York, Veronica Perez. The corner. It will bounce down. And it will roll off the flag. And it'll be a throw-in for Boston. And let's head down to the field once again to Alex Sims.
Scott and Maddie, I just want to talk about another great crowd tonight. 6th sellout of the season. 2,899 fans just filling the bleachers today. And when I say sold out, for those of you watching the live stream, it is loud in here. And just to give those of you that are watching the live stream an idea, after Sanderson scoring that goal early on in the second, I could barely hear myself talk. That's how loud it is. And I also want to talk a little bit about the weather today. It is around 82 degrees, perfectly sunny, not a single cloud in the sky. So, of course, the weather conditions need to be pretty perfect in order to have a pretty perfect game. All right, now back up to you guys.
Thank you very much, Alex. Alex mentioning that Sanderson goal in the 65th minute, giving the Breakers a 2-0 advantage. Want to update everybody on the Chicago-Seattle game. Chicago leads 1-0. At the 12th minute, a penalty kick taken by Sonia Fuss, scoring. And Chicago leads Seattle 1-0. Still early in that one. I believe Seattle is officially still alive in the playoff chase. I might be wrong with that. But they have, if they still have a chance, it is very, 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 very slim. Breakers looking for more. Sydney LaRue.
I think she took too many touches on that one. She kind of needed to put that on her left foot and get the shot off. And Sarah Huffman ran that one down and was able to deflect it off. So here's another corner kick for Boston to give him a chance.
Number 6 of the game, 3rd of the half for the Breakers. 72 minutes in. Simon and Sanderson, the goal scorers. And Franch goes up, makes a nice play, and then comes down hard on her left shoulder, but looks to be okay.
And both the goals that have been scored today kind of have been the result of corner kicks. Kat Whitehill was pushing up for their original corner kick and got the ball as it came all the way through, and then Sanderson got the shot off as it popped up from the corner.
I believe Wambach had headed it out from inside the 6 and then came down to Sanderson.
Absolutely. So if you don't, necessarily get a shot directly off the kick, it's still an offensive chance, as we've seen today.
Salem gets it back from Wambach. Angela Salem moves it to the far side. Wambach trying to go to Salem. Intercepted by Lohman. Up ahead for Sanderson. Sanderson, tricky dribble, keeps it alive. Substitution coming here for Western New York. Samantha Kerr going to come out of the match. And we'll see who is checking in. It is Ingrid Wells. Ingrid Wells making her 7th appearance of the year for Western New York after 8 games with Washington, 8 starts.
And you have to think that the Flash are just kind of resting Kerr at this point, giving Ingrid Wells a chance for some games.
And then down hard here, Noguera. A yellow card issued to Wambach.
when you're going up against a player like Wambach, you really, you know, it's going to be a tough collision, and that's when you get these kind of foul calls.
And again, we want to apologize for not having the instant replay capability today. Some unforeseen circumstances. We'd love to be able to bring you some replays, but as many of you do know, that these games do end up on the World Wide Web for later viewing. So once we get this game up on the internet, usually within a couple of days, you can check it out, and you can always scroll back around and look at the goals and these collisions and take a second look at it. You can find that on the Boston Breakers TV YouTube account, and you can look back at all the games. You can go back and you can look at our performance and see how we progressed over the year, or regressed, depending upon how you look at it. Hopefully you'd say progress.
Yeah,
that's the goal, at least.
Yeah.
That's the goal. To get better, not get worse. So Wambach, the yellow card. Second yellow card caution issued to Western New York today. Breakers have one, Joanna Lohman.
Western New York is an aggressive team, but you don't like to see two of your best players getting yellow cards.
Been handed a magazine from our director. We were voted second best broadcast team. All right, so we have room to progress. Second 8 first. It's Ingrid Wells, Wambach, and sliding down after it.
That was an aggressive play by Wambach, considering she was just issued a yellow card, and you know she doesn't want to get another one.
For the record, we'll give all of our credit to our production team and Media Boss Television. We just show up and speak. Best job in the world, though. And we thank you for tuning in today and all season long. A couple more games remaining on the home schedule this Wednesday against Portland, next Saturday against FC Kansas City. Unfortunately, I will have to miss the finale here in Boston next Saturday against FC Kansas City.
So we'll give Scott the proper send-off on Wednesday.
Everyone should shed some tears as Western New York looking to get on the board, and they do. Back to business we go as Western New York quickly cuts it in half, 2-1.
And you know, they were wide open in the middle of the field, so that was kind of a mental lapse by the Boston Breakers defense. No one was guarding, and Western New York is trying to get the restart going real quickly as there's less than 15 minutes left in this game.
So Western New York again going to try to come back, force a tie here at Dilboy Stadium. Scheffer out in front. She's onside, trying to get it back. Deflected up, and Franch makes the catch.
She needed to go for that far corner post, and she shot it right at Franch, giving her another save. But it's important for Boston, like we said earlier, to really complete this game. They can't concede any more late goals.
So Vicky DiMartino has gotten Western New York back within one, her second goal of the season in the 78th minute, and things have now quickly tightened up in the final 12 of the regulation time here in the second half. Second goal of the season for DiMartino. And there you see Franch, a little ginger after that kick. Great work by our cameras on the sideline to catch that. Mentioned a couple of goal kicks ago. It was a bad kick out of bounds, and then she was hunched over afterwards. And now you see that one, and very clear as day, favoring, it looked like, her right foot, right leg. So if you're a Western New York fan, you definitely don't want to see that when she's been your goalie for all but 2 minutes. Breakers trying to come back up the field, get that goal back at all costs. They don't want to be in that same situation as they were on June 5th. O'Reilly looking for an opportunity to pass it to Scheffer, and good job by Franch to cut it off as Scheffer was there on the doorstep.
And so it's important for Boston to keep pressuring. Great run down the side by O'Reilly, and Shepard was right there, but luckily for the Flash, Franch kind of jumped in and intercepted that when she saw it all the way.
Free kick coming. Cat Whitehill. Breakers lead 2-1 in the 80th minute. It goes all the way out, and we'll have a goal kick. And again, Franch coming up ginger after the goal kick. O'Reilly gets to Sanderson with lots of space. And it's knocked down. Handball.
Looks like a handball on Western New York, so here we go.
Dangerously close.
Yeah,
to the box.
A free kick. Very close. Boston will push everyone, almost everyone up for this one, and here's another good chance for them, another good scoring chance.
Looking to get the goal back.
Whitehill takes most of the free kicks for the Breakers, so see what she's thinking.
Whitehill along the ground. And while we have this break in the action, let's throw it down to the field to Alex Sims.
Guys, I just want to mention, the Breakers still up 2-1 after Vicky DiMartino with the goal for New York. Boston still up, though, 2-1 in the 81st minute. Now, I just want to let you all know, watching the live stream, stick around for after the game for coach and player interviews by me, as well as those that are planning to come to the next Breakers game, which is Wednesday. I will be looking for players, anyone that plays on a soccer team that I could possibly interview for our fans in the stand segment. So tweet me at Alexandra_Sims for fans in the stand. So if anyone, once again, is coming to our Wednesday's game, please tweet me because I am looking for fans. Once again, Breakers up 2-1 in the 81st minute. Now back up to you guys.
Thank you, Alex. As Breakers holding on to that 1-goal advantage. 82 minutes in now.
And, at this point in the game, both teams are really tired. They've been playing hard for 82-plus minutes, so Boston needs to lock this one down.
LaRue, good job just to keep it in and play it down the field, not give Western New York an opportunity. And a throw in deep. Huffman coming up the field for the Flash. Chips it onto the outside, offside.
Yeah, New York's pushing up. They want to get another goal, maybe steal a point away like they did the last time they were here.
Is red ticket 096500. That's 096500.
Seattle has tied things up with Chicago as they get a penalty kick of their own, so it's 1-1 each side with a penalty kick goal. Kaylin Kyle scoring for the Reign. So that's 1-1 about 30 minutes in Chicago. Chicago tied with Boston in the standings, 23 points, same record, 6, 7, and 5. Sanderson gets it to LaRue on the outside. LaRue waits for some teammates to set up. Bring it out, doesn't want to rush anything, keep possession. LaRue going against Johnson, and a throw-in.
Yeah, they're just trying to keep possession, wait for their chance, let some time run off.
Goal kick now for French, and we'll take a look again and see if we can figure out what the problem is with Adriana French, because on every goal kick, she grimaces and comes up a bit lame. She looked, again, it looks like the right leg, the way she kicked that one.
And Washington's back in action on Wednesday, so she doesn't have a lot of time, to recover. I mean, New York.
Western New York will host Seattle on Wednesday. Dangerous opportunity. Lloyd with the left foot shot, and we're tied. Well, we've seen this script before on this field, that no lead is safe for any team.
With Lloyd playing that midfield position, she's got a strong foot, a strong shot, and she was, up towards the 18, wide open. No one was pressuring her, and she had time to take that shot off. Boston's got to be frustrated.
7th goal this season for Carly Lloyd. Ties it up here in the 85th minute. Vicky DiMartino scored to get Western New York on the board. Here in the second half, Breakers led 2-0 after Sanderson scored in the 65th minute. And all square at 2-2. Breakers a loss are eliminated from the playoffs.
Julie King has pushed up, and she's playing more of a midfield forward role. Boston's using 3 defenders right now. They've got Avant, Whitehill, and McNeil. So they want the win today. They're not going to settle for the tie. They're pushing up, and they're going to try and get a late goal.
Just going to say, I don't think the Breakers are going to settle. A tie won't eliminate them, at least right here at the onset. But they need the 3 points.
And quickly, the momentum has swung in favor of the Flash.
Yeah, Western New York now, with everything in their favor, they don't necessarily need a win, especially down 2-0. Just kind of try to keep their spot. They're a point behind Sky Blue right now for the 3rd spot. Sky Blue playing right now against Washington, so you'd have to think just going into that one that Sky Blue's going to pick up 3 points with the way Washington has struggled.
But Coach Line said going down to the final stretch, they want to head into the playoffs with momentum, and they want to head in with as many wins on the season as possible, especially late in the season.
McNeil. LaRue to O'Reilly. O'Reilly tried to settle it down, no room for a shot.
O'Reilly was quickly cut down by 3 Flash defenders right there. So Western New York is really pressuring.
Little extra jump in their step. Whitehill, long down, and French will go cut it off.
Well, that's the confidence, too, that the Flash have with themselves and with the way they've been playing. Down 2-0, and they didn't sweat too much.
Yeah, 3-game unbeaten streak, a draw with Portland, and back-to-back 3-0 wins against Sky Blue and Washington.
Western New York Flash goal scored in the 85th minute by number 10, Carly Lloyd. Assisted the play to number 14,
Lloyd's goal was assisted by Sarah Huffman, her first point of the season. Huffman up the sideline, and they'll call that one off as Veronica Perez going after it.
So with time winding down, both teams are only going to get a handful of chances. So with Boston getting this kick and pushing into their own offensive zone, they need to keep possession and wait for the shot they want, not force anything.
Schepfer stepping inside the box. Keeps it alive. Sanderson trying to do the same. Taken by DiMartino, one of the goal scorers here in the second half for Western New York. McNeil works it by Ingrid Wells for Schepfer. Stolen away. Cannot connect, though, with Wambach, as Whitehill will use her keeper, Nair. Wambach still with the pressure. Given to Avant. And Avant can't keep it in. So the turnover, throw in for Western New York. 89th minute.
And the winning ticket for the game-worn autographed Abby Wambach jersey Red ticket 096.
Wambach,
585.
and it was out.
096.
Goal kick for the Breakers, and Nair going to be quick. And you can tell by that, they certainly going for the 3 points, which quite evident with the situation. As Alex mentioned after the game, stay tuned. She'll be on the field getting post-game interviews from both sides. May take a couple of minutes for those to begin as the players do their cool down and their post-game stretching, but keep it going if you want to hear from both sides. And right now, which is a 2-2 tie at the moment. That was the final back on June 5th here. Breakers won the first matchup in Rochester 2-1. Breakers had a 2-0 lead in the 65th minute. Sanderson had that second goal. Taps it for Shepfer. Lohman quickly to Sanderson, tried a shot, but knocked away before she get her foot on it.
Her first possession in that sequence, it looked like Sanderson almost wanted to take the shot and get another goal similar to her first one, but she opted for the pass.
2 minutes of extra time added.
2 minutes is plenty of time. We've seen it done, so.
Western New York stole a point here on June 5th in stoppage time. The Breakers trying to take 3 away potentially, as is Western New York. But right now they might be happy with this 2-2 draw to keep their place in the standings at 4th place. And Wambach takes it from Whitehill. Wambach looking for some space, and Whitehill, great job. Didn't give her any room.
That's the veteran defensive capabilities of Whitehill. She's very familiar with Wambach. She's a smart player. She just needed to wait for Wambach to make a little mistake or push the ball away from herself a little bit too far, and Whitehill was right there to step up, step in.
This Wednesday, August 7th versus Portland Thorns FC and Alex Bergen. Get your tickets online at BreakersTickets.com or call 617-945.
And the Breakers would still be alive in the playoffs with a draw here. A loss would eliminate them. We have about a minute remaining in extra time. There were 2 to start with. Western New York might not be able to clinch a playoff spot, but they'll inch closer. Needed a win and a Chicago loss. And this will be a throw-in for Western New York.
Coming down to these final seconds, Boston needs to step up, step in front, and force a turnover right here in their own offensive zone.
Branch makes the catch, and probably coming close to that final whistle.
Yeah, she's just letting time wind down.
Again, she's comes up a little ginger there, and the final whistle sounds. And the Breakers will take, again, a tough result for them. They had a 2-0 lead in the 65th minute, and Western New York scores twice in the second half to pick up the draw 2-2. Vicky DiMartino scoring in the 77th goal to make it 77th minute to make it 2-1, and then Carly Lloyd with the equalizer in the 85th minute to tie it up at 2-2. The Breakers goals in the first half, 17th minute, Kaya Simon. 65th minute in the second half, Leanne Sanderson. Again, the Breakers had the 2-0 advantage. We're on their way to 3 points. They'll have to settle for 1. Western New York has to be very happy with this outcome.
Yeah, Western New York, they never gave up. They continue to fight through, and that's just the kind of team that they are and they've become as the season winds down. Boston has to be disappointed in their efforts today just by the fact that they were up 2-0. They had a great first half, and they were doing so many things right, and they just kind of fell flat towards the end of that second half and were not able to lock down and finish the game, and that's been the problem for them this season.
Breakers do stay alive for the time being in the playoff chase. They're now 7 points, remain 7 points behind for the time being Western New York and Sky Blue with 31 points. Sky Blue hosting Washington right now. I believe they have no score in their contest in the first half. Chicago and Seattle are tied at 1. They are late in the first half in Chicago. So the Breakers are still alive, but are going to need plenty of help, and will need to take those last 3 matches. The next 2 at home this Wednesday against Portland A 7 o'clock first kick. Then the following Saturday, a week from today, they host the best team right now in the NWSL, FC Kansas City. And then wrap up the season 2 weeks from today against this same Flash team, Western New York. The Breakers hoping that when they get to that game, it might be a play your way in type of contest. And they'll just try to hope to stay alive in the playoff chase until then. Once again, the goal summary: Kaya Simon, 17th minute for the Breakers, her 3rd of the season. Leanne Sanderson, 65th minute, her 4th to make it 2-0 Breakers. And then Vicky DiMartino scoring in the 77th minute for Western New York to make it 2-1. And Carly Lloyd, the equalizer, in the 85th minute. And Western New York gets a point out of this one after being down 2-0. And the Breakers have to settle for 1 point. They're now 3-3-3 at home and 6-7-6 overall. Western New York improves to, or I don't know if improves to, but 2-3-6 on the road. They stay equal there, and 8-4-7 overall on the season. Once again, keep it tuned here to Media Boss Television during the postgame, and Alex Sims will be on the field, and she'll be talking and to players from each side and getting some words and some interviews from both sides of the field, so stay tuned for that. That'll be coming in a couple of minutes. That'll just about wrap things up for us, though, up here in the booth. Scott Sudakoff alongside Maddie Sattler. We thank you for tuning in to Boston Breakers Soccer and hope you join us again this Wednesday when the Breakers host Portland. It'll be a 7 o'clock kickoff here at Dilboy Stadium. Until then, take care, everybody. And again, keep it tuned for post-game interviews with Alex Sims on the field. Good night.
From Kat, and her technique was evident in the cross. So for me to get on the end of it, I was really privileged, and unfortunately it didn't win us the game, and they ended up tying. But that's football.
Talk about, did you guys talk about the playoff situation coming in? Is that, or are you just trying to get 3 points, or?
Yeah, I think we're in kind of a do or die situation now, so we know that every game's crucial, and we need to come away with wins, week in, week out. So we know that that's the end prize, and we know that's the end goal, but it's just a matter of, taking each game as it comes and trying to get the 3 points in, every game.
Talk about the week that you guys had, and, obviously it was interesting with the coaching change and stuff like that, or do you just focus on the game and don't worry about that stuff?
Yeah, I think it was, I've never experienced something like this ever before, especially happening in women's football. So it was a shock to myself and, the rest of the girls. But as footballers, it's our job to worry about things on the field and to, go with that and do that all we can do, and control what we can control. So, all credit to the girls. We went out there and we fought, with our hearts and gave everything. So it's disappointing to come, away with a draw and the 1 point, but I guess we can take it as a positive and move on to Wednesday and just, like I said, take every game as it comes.
Can you talk about Kat as a captain and now as a coach?
Yeah, Kat's, a fantastic role model, and to have such a leader in the group is, a lot of credit to her, and she's got, great leadership skills and really, steers us in the positive and the right direction. So to have her at the back, as our, holding fortress, centre back, it's almost comforting for us further up the field to know that she's there and she's, holding that back line and, leading us in the right direction.
Talk about quick. I'm doing a story on the Australians too, real quick. But the difference in how you grew up as opposed to the Americans. Do you talk that at all about how you didn't play college soccer and they do? Is that kind of weird to you when you talk to them, or is that just the way it is?
It is weird, I guess, when we go and chat to local clubs and things like that. Like the kids are all excited about the college system and things like that, and we've only represented Australia compared to playing for colleges over here. So there's definitely a huge emphasis on playing in college and going through those ranks leading up to the national system. But it's basically in Australia going through clubs, rep teams, state teams, and then you're in the national team. So, a lot of the girls, I guess, in that sense, can fall through the cracks in either system. But you know, if you get your lucky break with the national team, you just have to take it and, you know, take it as it comes.
It's kind of weird being the veteran. I mean, you're older than Emily, Sam, and Caitlin, right? To be here, do they look to you and her advice, or is that kind of weird too, or is it just kind of you're on the equals?
Yeah, well, we're all really good friends off the pitch, and obviously we love playing together on the pitch, and even more so against each other. So, you know, it's good, and it's weird to think that I'm only 22, but I'm a veteran in the Matildas. So, you know, I like taking on that role, and you know, like having, you know, I guess that leadership role as well, and hopefully the younger girls and the younger generations can look up to me, and hopefully they see me as a positive role model on and off the pitch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Careful with the cord behind you. Yep. You can go first.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Do you want to talk about the game first, or do you want to talk about the situation first?
It's up to you. I'll talk about the game first.
Okay.
That's our focus.
Sure. So really good start.
Yeah.
And then last 15 minutes, sort of the curse sort
Yeah,
of
the
continues.
curse. Yeah, I would say that the curse. Been a little bit unlucky for us, especially against Western New York. You know, losing in the final few minutes, and I think, to be honest, the injury to Mariah really hurt us because we went down a man, and that's when they scored their first goal. And you know, we need someone like Mariah in there. That's why we were willing to wait to get her back in, because she has such a great heading presence. And it's a bit unlucky for us, a bit unfortunate. You know, we're all very, very disappointed, but the silver lining, if there is any, is that we're not out yet, out of the playoff hunt. We're going to keep coming back, and we're going to come back Wednesday.
Both teams had something really important to fight for going into the game. And so from a neutral perspective, do you think a draw is a fair result, or do you think it was sort of Boston all the way today?
Am I neutral?
Put yourself in that position.
I'll try to. To be honest, I think that, I'm so sorry. I think that we played really well, and I was really proud of this team. We came out, we were playing with each other, we were going up the field together, we were coming back together, and I just felt it was such a team effort. As neutral as I can be, I felt like it was Boston. But it's completely biased, I'll be honest.
You guys know mathematically where you are in regards to the standings. So, I mean, how hard is it to come in and play as well as you did without caving to that pressure?
You know, at this point, we have the mentality we have nothing to lose, and we need to go after it. And why not? Let's put numbers forward. If we lose 1-0, if we lose 5-0, it doesn't matter at this point. Let's just go after it, and that's kind of what we're going for. And you know, it's a forward's dream or the midfielder's dream. Like, I'm telling them, go forward. Don't worry about getting back as much. And they're like, thank you. I've been dying to hear that for a long time. Even though fortunately they did get back, but I think that that's why we did such a nice job of getting forward and getting the numbers in the box. We just weren't able to finish as many chances as we had.
All right, that was actually a pretty good segue then.
Okay.
So my first question is, were you appointed, or did you throw your hat into the ring for this?
I was appointed. You know, the organization just felt like it would be the easiest transition at this point to do that, and the team, and you know, we are a team, and I was the captain of the team, and that was right now the easiest thing, especially with only 4 games left, possibly 6.
Can you lend any information on what prompted the change?
You know, it's been an up and down year for us. I wasn't the decision maker. I wasn't in the meetings, so I can't tell you exactly what it was. Obviously, coming into tonight, we wanted that victory, and we wanted to win, so that's a bit of a disappointment. I have no idea, and I you know, don't really want to know, because fortunately I'm just a player, and now a player coach, I guess, but that's not fortunately my decision, and I respect him, because this Boston Breaker organization has been here since day one in women's soccer, and I respect it so much.
Did you ever see yourself coaching, or have you coached before?
You know, it's funny. I've coached little kids. I've never actually coached a team before, so it's a bit interesting. You know, one day I've always said I would love to coach at the higher level, especially the college level, because my college experience is one of the best times of my life, and I know that I attribute a lot of that to my career as a soccer player. So it's definitely, I've thought more in the future, not so much in the near future as what happened, but it's fun, and it was fun to watch the game yesterday and today and figure out, you know, set pieces and what we can do to be better, and where we can exploit the team, and it's kind of fun to have a new role.
I know this all kind of happened at boys, did you talk to someone maybe like an Abby Wambach who was kind of in a similar situation, or Steve Carlo, who's a coach and a former U.S. national team player?
I talked to Abby, right as we were kind of congregating at the locker rooms. Since we were playing her, it was a bit difficult to talk to her. And she even said that. She was like, I wanted to text you, but since I was playing you, she was like, I figured I would text you tomorrow. And I was like, yeah, that's probably smart. To be honest, I didn't really talk to anybody. I thought about calling Anson Dorrance just because he is a mentor to me, but a lot was going on in my head and everything, and I kind of just wanted to focus on the game because as a player coach, you also have to focus on how I can play well and how to dispel the nerves, and so that was a bit difficult, and I wanted to keep it as simple as possible, and maybe in the next 3 games I'll start getting more information. I talked to Lil a bit, which was good.
Like you were just talking about coach, player, captain. You don't see that too often. Is that just more added pressure on your end to finish off the season strong?
Absolutely, it's a lot of pressure, and I'm willing to take it on for this team because I love this team and I love this organization, and I really wanted us to win tonight. It's nice to go 1-0, I guess, in your first game, but didn't happen tonight, and my heart breaks for this team, and I know that the team is pretty disappointed, but I was really, really proud of how we played, and they didn't seem to have the pressure, and if I can take it off from them, that's what matters.
Take a step back for a second. Before the draw tonight, how was it moving along before today's game?
It was good. It was high spirits. Yesterday when the news kind of came to our team and we found out, everybody was pretty somber. It was a surprise to us all, and it was a good time for us to talk. And then today everybody came together and we're like, we can do this, and we are a team. We started as the Breakers, we're gonna end as the Breakers, and that was the mentality. And I loved everyone's encouragement to me. I had so many amazing texts from my teammates, from my friends and family, and it was such an encouragement. It really meant a lot to me today to hear from other people.
Is it hard to be a friend and a coach at the same time? Because I know I deal with the same thing, and it's really hard on my part.
It is difficult. I told him yesterday when everything kind of came down, I was like, the hardest part is going to be that I've been your friend this whole season, and now I'm in a difficult situation of naming that starting lineup, and everybody in this locker room wants to start. And I just want you to know that I want to do whatever is best for this team. And I hope that our relationship doesn't change, but and I think, to be honest, it's been the same. I haven't felt anything different. Yeah.
Can you talk about what it means to have someone like Christine Lilly on the bench and not doing this all alone?
It was funny. I told Abby when we were talking, I was like, yeah, I got Lil. She's like, oh, man, you're lucky. So that makes it nice. She is a brilliant soccer mind, obviously, not just from playing experience, from coaching her camps and just being on the sideline with us a little bit last year with the Breakers and the WPSL Elite. And she was doing the X's and O's as if, it was easy and simple for her. So, yes, it was a blessing, and I was so glad she was able to be here, or she was able to be here. And, it's fun to have her daughter on the sideline, too. She makes you smile.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yep, you're welcome.
Good luck, Kat.
Yeah, good luck.
Thanks.
And you from?
Yeah.